This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your Weekly Blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Are you ready to supercharge your auto repair business? This is Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching. The Weekly Blitz is where industry expertise and business innovation collide, getting your engines revved up for the week ahead. Every episode is loaded with game-changing insights, up-to-the-minute industry updates, and practical tips to shift your business into high gear. We're talking about stuff you didn't even know you didn't know, people. Big shout out to our awesome sponsor, Shop Marketing Pros. Are you looking to shift your shop's marketing from zero to hero? Trust us, you don't want to gamble your livelihood on amateur marketing moves. Go pro with Shop Marketing Pros, your ticket to top-tier results. Find out how they can fuel your success at shopmarketingpros.com/Chris. So today I want to dive into something that's absolutely vital for your independent auto repair shop success. I'm talking about gross profit per hour. I haven't ever talked about this before, but it's something that in the last year I've been coaching more to or towards as a KPI. Recently, I listened to a podcast that Hunt Demarest did, and he talked about it, and I'm like, dang it, Chris, Hunt beat you to the punch. And if you don't know who Hunt Demarest is, he's been a guest. He was on a couple weeks ago. He has a podcast on the Aftermarket Radio Network called Business by the Numbers. I was a little pissed off because he beat me to the punch on that one. It's not a secret, but it's something, if you're using TechMetric, if you're using some of the other shop management systems, it has it on there. But one of the things we're going to talk about in a minute is like a formula to figure out where you need to be and everything. But it's a number that's there. It's a number that's easily calculated, I think. And it's something that we need to talk about as a KPI for your business. So let's break down why this is a game changer. First off, gross profit per hour is kind of like a heartbeat of your business when it's a KPI. It measures how effectively you're using your most valuable resource, and that's time. When your technicians clock in, every hour they spend working needs to translate into healthy profits for your shop. A high gross profit per hour, that's a sign you're nailing it with efficiency and pricing. If it's low, it's a wake-up call to reevaluate your rates and how your team operates. When we think about pricing, it's not just about what the market bears. It's about ensuring each hour of labor is priced to keep your business not just running, but thriving. So getting this right is crucial. This is what's going to separate the shops that barely survive from those that consistently stay on top. It's also one of the problems I was having was, great, we can figure out what our gross profit per hour is, but how do we come up with the good gross profit per hour target? And again, when I go through some of the math here in a minute, I'm going to talk about that. One of the things that we look at, or one of the things that feeds into it, is labor utilization. You're investing in labor hours every day. Maximizing profit from these hours is key. It's not just about being busy. It's about being profitably busy. That's where your gross profit per hour comes in as your guiding star. A low gross profit per hour is going to point towards areas that need improvement. Maybe your team needs more training, perhaps time to upgrade your tools. This is like a health check for your shop. So remember, your shop's financial health directly ties to gross profit per hour. It's the difference between just keeping the lights on and actually growing your business. Let's not forget about staying competitive. In this industry, the margin for error is slim, and a strong gross profit per hour gives you the edge to reinvest in your business and attract more customers. So there's also another way to measure gross profit per hour, and that's how many hours you're open for the week. So let's go and talk through the math a little bit, and then we'll come back and close this out. So what I've done is I've pulled up a spreadsheet I have that's called the gross profit per hour calculator. If you're interested in me running this for your shop, then I want you to go ahead and email me, chris@autofixsos.com. And the thing I need to know from you is, what are your fixed expenses per week? How many hours a week are you open? And how many technician hours do you average every week? So if all your technicians combined average 100 hours billed per week, then that's the number I want you to give me. And so if you know me, if you've been around me, you know that I always like to start with the end in mind. So if you were to come to me and you were like, hey, Chris, I want to know what my gross profit per hour needs to be. Well, the first thing we need to look at is, what are our expenses? What's our goal for the week? So if your fixed expenses are $14,000 per week, that's the number that I'm going to work with here, and I'm going to take you through it. So the first thing we take is we take the fixed expenses, and then for this one, it's $14,000 per week. Now, what I want to do is I want to divide that by 0.25 because I want a net of 25% or better. So again, we're starting with the end in mind. So on the fixed expenses of $14,000 per week, that gives us a total sales target of $56,000 for the week. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that $56,000 and I want to figure out what 65% gross profit of that is. So next thing I want to do is I want to take $56,000 and I want to multiply that times 0.65 to give me 65% gross profit. So that number for this is 36,400. So my total gross profit for a week, if I want to make $14,000 in net, needs to be 36,400. Now, there's some other things in there that we haven't talked about, like any other fixed expenses, et cetera, but this number should hold true. Remember, I can only lay this out for you and talk about it. What you do with some of this is up to you. So if I'm looking at what that equates to in gross profit per hour open, how many hours the front door is open? It doesn't have anything to do with bays or technicians or anything. I'm going to take that 36,400 and I'm open 40 hours for the week. And once we divide that out, it gives me a gross profit per hour open of $910. Okay. Now, the other number I asked for from you was what your average technician hours billed per week is. And so on this one, I'm saying it's 175. So if I take that 36,400 and divide it by 175, that gives me a gross profit per technician hour billed of 208, which is a good number. Anything over 200 is perfect, healthy, wealthy, and wise. So that's the target. Now, some smaller shops might be a little bit different, but as far as the numbers worked out for this is where we're at. Actually, I can go into the spreadsheet and change this really quick. So say I had a smaller shop. Now, I didn't practice this out beforehand, but stick with me. Say I had a smaller shop. My fixed expenses per week was 6,500. Hours open per week is still 40 hours per week. But let's say I averaged 100 tech hours per week. So this is like a small 3-bay shop, 3 technicians. Actually, this works out to about $1 million a year shop too. So if you're in the $1 million range, here's kind of what it looks like. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly. I definitely did not practice this. So fixed expenses per week is $6,500. At a 25% net, we need to do $26,000 a week in sales. And our target gross profit for the week is $16,900. And then if we take that and divide it by the 40 hours a week open, that gives us a number of $422.50 as far as gross profit per hour open. And then for the technician hours average per week, I did 100. And so this puts us at 169 for gross profit per technician hour billed. And so that delivers a 25% net. So you might have some shops that are in the 200 range. This is 169. It's not far off of 200. Now, if you could take this same shop and make it, say we just build out another 25 hours per week. Oh, I don't know. I had a good thing going there and I messed it up. So let's forget that. So anyway, so this shop, a smaller shop with the 6,500 fixed expenses, gross profit per hour technician billed is 169. And that's a good number for this shop. So that's just a couple of examples. Again, shoot me an email if you want me to run this for your shop, but I need to know your fixed expenses, your hours per week open, and what your average technician hours billed is. Okay. And then we can kind of model this for you. So again, gross profit per hour is super crucial for an independent auto repair shop. It's the pulse of your business. It tells you how healthy your operations are. One of the things that it does is this helps you measure your efficiency and productivity. It also gives you a way of looking at other things and being like, hey, my gross profit per hour is not so great. Why isn't it great? So if we just think about efficiency and productivity, that's going to be a great tool for gauging the efficiency of your technicians. It's going to help you understand if you're charging enough for the labor involved. If your gross profit per hour is high, it means your team's working efficiently. And this is the whole team. We're not going to lay it all on the technicians, and your pricing is on point. If it's low, you might need to look at your labor rates or how your technicians are working. Your service advisors need to be efficient and productive as well, and that can also key into this. Number 2, we talked about pricing strategy earlier. Again, this is a reality check for your pricing strategy. In the auto repair world, undercharging can be a silent killer for profit. Knowing your gross profit per hour helps you set prices that not only cover costs, but also ensure a healthy profit margin. It also helps point to can job pricing, diagnostic pricing, and maintenance item pricing. So those are some things you need to look at if the pricing strategy is incorrect. We talked about efficiency, but number 3 is like labor utilization. It's all about getting the most out of your labor hours. You're paying for these hours regardless. You might not agree with me, but the most recent data I've seen, 50% of the shops out there pay their technicians by the hour or salary. So maximizing the profit you make during each of those hours is key. It's not just about being busy, it's about being profitably busy. If you're in a shop that you pay your technicians hourly for all hours worked, it's up to whoever's in charge of your labor inventory to make sure that we're billing those hours out. If you've heard me talk about the lost lettuce, if you buy 100 heads of lettuce for the week and you only sell 50 of them, then you're throwing 50 in the trash. Got to make sure you're not throwing those 50 in the trash. Number 4, identify training needs. Consistency low gross profit per hour could hint at a need for more training or better tools for your technicians or service advisors. It's like a symptom that tells you where to look for improvement. Number 5, financial health. Ultimately, gross profit per hour affects your bottom line. It's a direct contributor to your shop's overall profitability. It helps in keeping the lights on, paying your staff well, and ensuring that your business isn't just surviving, but thriving. And that also takes us to number 6, the last one, competitive edge. In the aftermarket auto repair industry, competition's tough. A healthy gross profit per hour not only ensures business sustainability, but also gives you a competitive edge. You can reinvest profits into better equipment, training, even marketing strategies to attract more customers, or putting the kids through college is okay as well. In a nutshell, gross profit per hour is a key performance indicator for your shop. It's like a compass guiding you towards financial health and business efficiency. It's a mix of smart management, understanding market rates, and ensuring your team works like a well-oiled machine, pun intended. Usually now is when I read the close, talk about being a successful auto repair shop owner, making sure you listen, give a shout out to Shop Marketing Pros. I'm going to do it a little bit different today. I think people are confused about my relationship with Shop Marketing Pros. They think because Shop Marketing Pros sponsors my podcast that I'm pushing them to the forefront just because of the sponsorship. If something happened and the sponsorship for the podcast was no longer there, I would still put Shop Marketing Pros ahead of all the other marketers in the industry. They're the ones that I use. If I were to start a shop right now, they would be my first phone call. And I will always send to you the person that I think will do the best job for your business. Doesn't matter if they sponsor the podcast or not or whatever. I'm going to give a shop owner the number one best advantage to having the best business possible. From what I'm seeing, from what I'm experiencing, from what my customers are experiencing, Shop Marketing Pros is the number one go-to in the industry. If you're confused about that, you shouldn't be. They're the best there is. They're all about top-tier marketing for shops just like yours. Hopefully that clears it up. If you haven't called them yet, why are you waiting? Until next time, everybody, Coach Chris Cotton signing off. Keep those gears running smoothly. Keep learning, keep growing. In this business, every day is a chance to get better. It's time to rise and grind. Here's to your ongoing success. Also, make sure to go check out one of the other great podcasts on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Have a great day, everybody.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarket.